Oh. 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 Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sairam everyone.
Sai Ram.
We will continue from where we left off last week. I will just go over the Namavalis which we covered last week first. I will just read them once slowly, and then we will proceed further. Just to repeat what I said last week, at any point in time, anyone who has questions, please put up your hands and ask any questions if you have. If I was not very clear in explaining something which I have put down on the slide, so that you don't have to wait till the end, because sometimes I may be covering certain things which I am not clearly explaining. Thank you very much. Okay, I hope that's okay. So we will start with the Namavalis which we covered last week. Om Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai Babaya Namaha. Let's make sure that the Bha is the fourth letter in the Pa Varga, so it should be with some effort, some air, extra air. Bha. Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Babaya. This Ba is without air. Babaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sathya Swarupaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Satya Dharma Parayanaya Namaha. In this, I would like you to pay attention to the Dha, which is again the fourth letter in the Dha Varga. So, Dha is the way it should be pronounced with extra air. And just make sure that it's Parayana and not Parayana. Satya Dharma Parayanaya Namaha. Next one, Om Shri Sai Varadaya Namaha. Here, make sure that it is not the fourth Da, it is the third one, so no extra air. Varadaya Namaha. Because sometimes we mix up the fourth one, which is here, and the third one here. This is the, and this is the. Okay, so the extra air, the air is the amount of effort, and the air is the difference. Om Shri Sai Sat Puru Shaya Namaha. The Sha is pronounced with the tongue raised up, pointing to the roof of the mouth. Sha, okay. Sat Puru Shaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sathya Gunatmane Namaha. I think it should be okay. Om Shri Sai Sadhu Vardhanaya Namaha. I just paused at this dhu and dha. Both of them are the fourth dha, which is with extra air, okay, aspirated fourth letter in the tha varga. Om Shri Sai Sadhu Vardhanaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sadhu Janaposhanaya Namaha. Just pay attention to the dhu here and sha here, which is the tongue raised up to the roof, towards the roof of the mouth. Sadhu Janaposhanaya Namaha. Om Sri Sai Sarvajnaya Namaha. Just I hope you remember that this is a compound consonant made up of ij, ja, okay, ij and nya. Sarvajnaya. So it's a compound letter, okay. Om Shri Sai Sarvajnaya Namaha. So this is what we covered last week. So I think if there are no questions, we will proceed with the next one. The 10th name in the Ashtottara, Shata Namavali. I hope you all remembered that we talked about Ashtottara Shata Namavali. Okay. The 10th one in that. Om Shri Sai Sarva Jana Priyaya Namaha. So just pay attention to this. This irva, the ir is the hook at the top, and va. Pri is another compound consonant. Up and ra. Pri yaya namaha. I think we have come across before. I thought I would just point that out. So this is the fourth vibhakti, as I said, to that sarvajana priya. Okay, so what is the simple noun? Which is sarvajana priyaha. That's the name. So with that name, to that person means Sarvajana Priyaya. To Sarvajana Priyaha is Sarvajana Priyaya. I will give the transliteration, should be okay, it will be useful for you. We'll just look at the meanings. Sarva means all. Jana is people. Jana has multiple meanings. Jana can also mean a person. But in this context, because it's the word sarva precedes it, we can say all people. Okay. Priyaha, dear one. Sarvajana Priya means everyone likes him. You can also take it as one who likes everyone. Both ways one can take the meaning. Everyone likes him and he likes everyone. Sarvajana Priyaha. So prostrations to the one who is dear to all people. This is the meaning I have given. Yes, brother Vimalesan.
Sairam, I just want to be a little bit more clear about that. When we studied earlier, also you mentioned that this nama. So, no, this same nama we can take both ways. He was liked by all, and he likes all, because in Tamil it's not possible, right? It's either that or this. So this sentence really mean both. The actual meaning, the word by word, grammatically.
Yeah, so the thing is, Sanskrit has this concept of samasa, I think we discussed. So there are three words which are combined, sarva, jana, priyaha. Okay. So the thing is, none of them have, see, generally in a sentence, you usually put a vibhakti. In English, you will put prepositions. Okay, so but the thing is, because the prepositions are absent, there's a poetic imagination, or the visualization options are many for anyone. So that is the advantage of poetry itself. Poetry, unlike prose, gives you multiple ways you can interpret it.
Okay.
Again, so you can say, can you interpret it any way you want?
Right.
So the thing is, you have the advantage. That's why in sutras or mantras, the vibhakti is not used in most of them. In this case, the Sarvajana Priyaha, there is no vibhakti used. Only in the Yaya, we are using a vibhakti to that person. So
Okay.
you have certain freedom to gain different meanings, and the way reason they do that is also you can pack so much meaning into that.
Okay.
So it's a compound word. That concept it exists, but I don't know how much we use it. That's all
Okay.
I can say.
Okay.
But
Okay.
in
Thank you.
Sanskrit, sometimes you will see they will use about 7, 8, 9 words together as one, without any. It becomes a compound word. So the thing is, this is what the rishis say: sadhana. You take a mantra and you meditate on it. Meditating on that is visualizing, and they have done it in such a scientific way that you can pull out any number of good meanings from that.
Okay.
Okay,
Okay. Yeah.
so
Thank you.
there's no single meaning.
Right. Okay. Thank
I
you.
think it is similar to God is one, but then you can call him by any name, any form. That because he in him he contains everything. So it's a
Yeah.
similar thing with names
Okay.
also. Okay,
Okay.
so,
Thank you. Thank you.
because no one should say this is the right meaning and there's no other meaning. That's why I sometimes say this. And if someone is dear to for someone for whom everyone is dear, means all those people will like him also. It is a mutual uh, uh, experience, I would say. So it can be interpreted in multiple
Okay.
ways.
Okay.
I just want to point that out. So your imagination and the positivity in us is only limit in understanding any of these mantra.
Okay. Thank you.
So we'll go to the next one, which is the 11th one. Om Shri Sai Sarva Shakti Murtaye Namaha. Sarva Shakti. This is a compound consonant, ik and the. Ikti. Okay. Ikti, because of in the E, which is line before the consonant, connected by a hook at the top. So it's Shakti. Shakti Murtaye Namaha. This Sha is the palatal Sha, so your tongue will be parallel to the roof of the mouth, parallel to the roof of the mouth. So it's like Cha, Sha. Okay, just to remind you, Sarva Shakti Murtaye Namaha. There are no aspirated letters in this. Okay. So the simple noun is Sarva Shakti Murtihi. Because Murtaye is the fourth vibhakti. This is Murti. Okay. So Sarva means all. Shakti is powers. I put the plural word, but Shakti means actually it's a singular one only. But in this context in English, I put all powers. Murti means form, image, or personification. And usually the word Murti is used for any Vigraha in a temple and so on. So it represents something also. It contains within it also. You can say so. Okay. So if you want to give all the powers in the world a form, that is Godhead. So Sarva Shakti Murtihi, form or image or personification. So prostrations to the one who is all powers personified. So that's the meaning which I have put down. So we'll go to the next one if there are no questions. Om Shri Sai Sarveshaya Namaha. Irve, okay, because of there's a rabbit ear, I would say. So that gives a sound. Ir is the hook, and va, a, irve, shaya, namaha, sarve shaya namaha. So the simple noun is sarveshaha, sarveshaha. Okay. So there is, so I have broken it as sarva and ishaha. The irva and e. So the a at the end of this irva and e together form a sandhi, which becomes a, like I-E, 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 I-A, like that, you know. So sarve shaha. Sarva means all, ishaha means Lord. Okay. So prostrations to the Lord of for all. So again, I have tried to do the same thing. So he is the Lord for everyone. Lord for everyone. Everyone sees him as the Lord. Okay. So he is the Lord, King. Okay. Then he is the all godliness in him. Okay, Lord of all and Lord for all. So, you know, in English, multiple ways you can look at it. Different prepositions get used. Okay. Whether others recognize him or not, he is the Lord. But many all recognize him also as God. So both ways it means Sarvesha. So, okay, I think it's pretty simple. So I will go to the next one. Om Shri Sai Sarva Sangha Parityagine Namaha. Okay. You are just, I think this is a compound consonant. Is the one at the top and Ga. Unga. Itya is the second one, or another one. Irva, I think we have already seen a couple of times. So Itya. So half the and ya gives you Itya. Okay. So Sarva Sangha Parityagine Namaha. There's no aspirated consonant here, so it should be pretty simple for most people. So the simple name is Sarva Sangha Parityagi. So I just wanted to point, maybe I made a small, here I have put Parityagin. So just for consistency, I'm going to put it, change that. I just wanted to, why you put in and e, I will just explain to you. So if you take this name, Sarva Sangha Parityagi, the root word or the Mula Padam, as they would say, is Parityagin, Gi and In. Okay, so this Gi, which is a short one, and this now becomes In, Parityagin. But then what happens is that is the root word, Mula Padam. But then what happens when you use it in the first person, when you want to describe that person as the first vibhakti, as a noun, in Sanskrit, the first vibhakti, okay, the first form, I would say, is parityagi. So I just wanted to highlight that because you may see, for example, if you look at the word Atman and Atma, both actually the same. Atman is the Mula Padam, the root form. Atma is the first vibhakti. Okay, now. So there is difference in certain case. Okay. For example, if you take the word Rama, Rama is the root word, but in the first vibhakti it's a Ramaha. Things like that are there. So I just wanted to, there's sometimes you will say which is right, which is not, which is the correct way to say it. Both are correct, but as long as you understand what you are using, you are fine. So it's Sarva Sangha Parityagi. This is the simple first vibhakti, or the first form of this padam, which is Sarva Sangha Parityagin. Okay. So I have just given the meanings that with that as the word which I am going to break. Sarva Sangha Parityagi. Okay. So Sarva is all. Sangha, I put associations, so attachments. Sangha means coming together of anything, joining of anything, being together of anything. Sangam, all of you know. But it's also attachment. Also, it can. I mean, one who is connected to people. So sangam, connection is also sangam. You can say. Parityagi is one who has renounced. A tyagi is to give up, tyagam, to sacrifice. The word pari is often used in spiritual traditions in many places. And pari basically means you do it not because of, with a certain aspirational, devotional, spiritual perspective, for the right reason. Because the word pari has been explained by Shirdi Sai Baba in one of the stories, if anyone has read. He says, Prashna, in that context, I will just say, Pariprashna is the one devotee is using that word in a shloka, Gita shloka. The story is, maybe it's a slightly aside story, but I will mention it anyway. Pariprashnena sevaya, like that, there's one Gita shloka. And so Shirdi Sai Baba is asking this person who's a Brahmin, was doing his Padaseva and chanting this. And he said, what are you chanting? So he said, I'm chanting a Gita Shloka. So Shirdi Sai Baba asked, what is that Gita Shloka? So this person recites the Gita Shloka. Thinking, Shirdi Sai, because many of them thought, he was illiterate, he didn't know Sanskrit. And so he repeats the verse. And so Shirdi Sai Baba is asking meaning of every single word. So in that word pariprashna, he asks, what is pariprashna? So he says, Lord is asking questions. Then he's asking, what is prashna? He says, asking questions. Then he's asking, then why was the word pariprashna used? What is the difference between pariprashna and prashna? And this Sanskrit scholar is stumped. He's unable to explain. Then Shirdi Sai Baba says, you think it was just used for fun? No meaning for the pari? And so that person didn't know what to say. Because until that point, he thought Shirdi Sai Baba doesn't know Sanskrit, he doesn't know Gita, anything. Though he had some devotion for him because he knew that he was someone who is superhuman, divine. But then Shirdi Sai Baba goes on to say, asking questions has multiple reasons. Okay, Swami also in one discourse is talking about how to ask questions. He says some people ask questions to find out. Okay, genuine interest, seeking to find out is pariprashna. But some questions, just prashna, can be many ways, because some people ask questions to put down the other person. to show that that person doesn't know the answer. Some people ask questions to test the person. Some people ask questions to show the other one, I know. So Swami says, questions can be asked in many ways, but pariprashna means with a genuine interest and seeking, you should ask questions. So the same way here, parityagi means it is not that we should give up something thinking that we will get something else. He just gives up naturally for a higher purpose. That is my real nature. So that is to cultivate that nature of being not attached to anything is parityagam. So one who is among people but is not attached to people. One who is with people but is not unnecessarily attached or even associate. So we pray to Swami as someone who has, even though he is with us, he is not of us. He's not attached to us, though he loves us. So Sarva Sangha Parityagi. So Swami always says, when I am with a woman, I am a woman. With a man, I am a man. When I am with a child, I am child. But when I am by myself, I am God. Something which Swami says. So he is one who is with everyone but is not attached. So prostrations to one who has renounced all attachments is Parityagi. So we will go to the next one. I think whatever I wanted to cover, I think I've covered. So I think there's a question. Om Shri Sai Sarvantaryamine Namaha. Sarvantaryamine Namaha. So there are a couple of compound consonants, Irva and Irya and Inta. Sarva Inta Irya Mine Namaha. Sarvantaryamine. Sarvantaryamine Namaha. So here also the simple noun is Sarvantaryami. Okay. Again, here also the Mula Padam or root word is Sarvantaryamin. But the first form of that Mula Padam is Sarvantaryami, which becomes a simple noun. Okay. Sarvantaryami. Sarva means all. Antar is, here I have taken, it can be inner, within, in between, all that meaning is there, but I have just put two, inner and within, antar. Antaha means inside. You all may know the word antapura, inner inner rooms of a house. It's called antapura. Okay. Where the women are supposed to reside. You would have heard that usage. So sarva antar is within. Yami. I put three meanings: restrainer, controller, and guard. I think. Oh, sorry. Sorry. Okay, I've used the word yami as these three: restrainer, controller, and guard. So this is a word generally people say Advantarya means he is everywhere. So this is usually the meaning given, but I thought we will go through each word, each section of the word, of the name, to understand. So Yami means one who checks. So a guard is called Yamaka. Yama means one who makes checks, puts checks and balances is Yami. So in every one of us, there is a power, God, who actually is controlling everything in us. The bodily functions, the mental functions, everything is controlled by that one entity. And so why is it Yami means? You can say that will always put checks so that we don't hurt ourselves or harm ourselves, or we don't hurt others or the outside anything. So that person within each of us is Yami. Sarva Antaryami means in everything he is present within, controlling and restraining. So you can ask, what is this God in us? What is he controlling? He is the conscience. Conscience means conscience always checks whenever we want to do something. This is Swami says, always follow your conscience. So that is the Lord within us is the conscience. He always will check whenever we are about to do something, whenever we think something. It will tell you, you are not supposed to do this or you are supposed to do this. So that divine energy which is present within us is Sarva Antaryami. It's not only in us, in everything, in every inanimate thing also. That is the one which keeps everything together. If the atoms don't disperse, that is because of that Sarva Antaryami is holding everything together. Okay, so that is why everything exists in this world. When he says, okay, I'm going to let go, everything will disappear, disintegrate. So that power is Sarva Antaryami. So prostration to the one who restrains all from within. That's the meaning I've given. It's up to you how you want to. All pervading is, some people say. Yes, he not only all pervades all, but he also controls the functioning of this entire world in everything. That God is Sarvantaryami. So I thought I would just cover that. Somebody is asking, Pari is a horse also, is it not? I think that's a Tamil word. Tamil usage, I would say. Pari, not in Sanskrit as far as I understand. Okay, so the next name, is Om Shri Sai Mahimatmane Namaha. Okay, Mahimatmane Namaha. So the simple, I think it should be straightforward. Itma is the only compound consonant here. Otherwise, everything is simple, no aspirated consonants. So it should be a simple name. Mahimatman is actually it's the Mula Padam. Okay, Mahimatman. The first form is Mahimatma. But because everyone is familiar with Atman, so I left it like this. Mahimatman. Okay. We look at the word Mahima and Atman, because again there's a Sandhi. This Ma and A together form again Ma. Okay. This Ma is actually a compound, it's a Sandhi which contains two letters. One is Ma and the other one is A. Okay, so I split it into two, Mahima and Atman. Mahima is glory, majesty, something inexplicable. All that is Mahima, superhuman. Atman is the true self. Okay. So I have just put the meaning as prostration to the glorious Atman, which the Paramatman is the Mahimatman. So one who is the Paramatma. So he is the Mahimatma. So that's what this name means. So the 16th one, Om Shri Sai Maheshwara Swarupaya Namaha. Again, Ishwa is one compound consonant, Ish, which is the palatal sha, and Va, Ishwa. This Va is the dental sa, the tongue sort of touches the teeth, sa, Swa, Ishwa and Iswa. So a lot of difference, because I think many Tamilians make this confusion. For this also we'll say Ishwa. Okay, so we have to just watch. Maheshwa, Swa, Shwa, Swa. Practice that, that will be very good. Maheshwa Swarupaya Namaha. I think that's the question. Mahima is miracle, but again, that's a colloquial usage, and something which is inexplicable is called Mahima. So Mahima is generally glorious, but you can have multiple shades of meanings. That's for each person to imagine and visualize. So I will go through the. Okay, Brother Kumar, you have a question?
Yes. Can you just explain the top piece again? That Sai Maheshwara. I know you were saying about Ishwara and Is. Yeah, if you don't mind, please.
So what I was telling was I was just talking about the pronunciation, brother. This is Ishwa and this is Iswa. This is with this half is the sh sound, which is the palatal sh. Ushma, what do you use? Push air actually. The sh, here it is s. So I said among Tamil people, sometimes we mix up. Either we call this Iswa and this one also Iswa, or sometimes we say Ishwa and this one also will say Ishwa when you especially write in Tamil. So I just wanted people to pay attention to it. Maheshwara, Maheshwara, Swarupaya. So just show the distinction between how Ishwa and Iswa are pronounced. I just wanted to pay attention. That was I just wanted to highlight.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. Thank you so much.
So let us now break the word into three different forms. Actually, this is a compound word. So there's Maha, Ishwara, and Swarupa. So this Ha, and E, this is a longer E, Ikara, both combine to make the letter He. So that's the Sandhi. So where A and E becomes He. EA, because is there, it becomes He. Okay. So that's the Sandhi. The Swarupa is pretty straightforward. So there are three words in this name. Maha means great, supreme. Both of them are meant by Maha. Ishwaraha, okay, is God. I have translated as God. I think you may say why is Ishaha and why is Ishwaraha. Both more or less mean the same thing, but Vara also says it's best. The topmost. So it's an extra superlative meaning it gives. Okay. So Maha Ishvara means you cannot have anything above the most supreme Lord. Okay. Or God or Lord, whichever is, I think I'll put the word Lord also. Okay, Maha Ishvara. Swarupaha. I will translate as one whose natural state is the meaning I have given. So I think I will spend on this Swarupa because I think last week also there were questions. I try to address them, but I don't know how good a job I did. So I will again talk about it. The word rupa means form, a body. That's a we think. So we think swarupa and rupa are the same. I think that was a question asked by Kalyani. I think she's not here today, but I guess she would listen to it later. And I think Sakku auntie said, is it embodiment? Also one. So I would like to address those two, because I don't think I spent enough time talking about it last week. So rupa generally would say form. Okay, that which is seen, that which becomes perceivable, rupa. Swa means own. That's one meaning. Own form. Okay. What is the real form? What is the own form of the Lord is the question. Like when Swami says, if you are three, one who you think you are, one others think you are, and one who you really are. So this one who you really are is Swarupa. Swami in many discourse, Swami said, Swarupa Darshanam Jnanam. When we know our true self, that becomes Jnana. Okay, because we should not think the body is us. We should not think the person who is thinking is us. No, the person is beyond both. So that is Swarupa. I also wanted to say there's another way you can split this word Swarupa. This Swa is also can be a sandhi of two words. One is Su and A. Su and A becomes Swa. Like for example, Su Agatam means Swagatam. Su Asti means Swasti. So Su plus A becomes Swa. So you can say Su and Arupaha. Okay, if you would use the word Arupaha means formless, without form. Su means divine or spiritual, auspicious. So the auspicious, formless is Swarupa. So it also means that Swarupa is beyond form, beyond body. So that is why I said Rupa and Swarupa are two different things. Generally, Rupa by itself will generally refer to what we see, which is the Stula Rupa. Stula means gross body. Okay, so there is Stula Rupam, there is Sukshma Rupam, the subtle body, then there is Swarupam, the real body, the real form. At that point, no body is there. So I also was not preferring to use the word embodiment. In English, we'll say he is embodiment of love, he is embodiment of truth and so on. This embody, actually what basically the originally how this word came about was, if you, for example, in archaic usages, when a warrior wears the armor going to war, that is called embodiment. So you take you make that your body. So you put on a role, you put on a facade. So that is the way embody is used. So you get into something and call that your body. But this is not that. This is going beyond the body. Okay, so because of that, those two, because English, that concept itself, the true self is, somebody is asking about Varna and Swarna, so I will like to go out of, I don't want to go out into the other topics. Please, we'll stick to this as much as possible. We are trying to understand so I will, though I can talk on those topics, I will try to avoid. I think focus is very, very important. So I would just say is try to ask questions. If you want to understand the meaning Su, we will talk about Su. Varna, I don't want to go into. So I hope someone is asking questions. So I thought I will not address certain questions because it will distract from our discussion. So just focus on the name and try to understand it is what I would say. So Su means always anything auspicious, good is Su. Arupa means formlessness. So Swarupa is our real self. So in English, the concept itself does not exist. So it is very difficult to translate some of these concepts. So that's why he says, so for example, if we say Prema Swarupa, Swami addresses everyone. What he is referring to is our inner self, the true self, which is actually love. So he is addressing to that Atman, not to the form, not to our ear. That we can't suddenly paint ourselves love. But if the love is within us, and once we realize that that love will come out through the body also, through our words, our thoughts. So Swarupa is our natural state. So, because when Swami is there, then the question will ask, people may ask is, okay, if he is Maheshwara, why is he sitting on a wheelchair and going? You know, these are questions. That is the body which he has happened to take on. But the principle within that is the Supreme Spirit, which is capable of doing anything. So that is the understanding. So Maheshwara Swarupaha, prostration to the one whose natural state is the Supreme Godhead, is the way I have translated it. There can be multiple other meanings, but the meaning which came to me at this point in time is just this, okay? You can have attribute many other meanings, so I will just leave it at that. So the next name is Om Shri Sai Partigramodbhavaya Namaha. Partigramodbha. Okay. Idbha. So this bha is aspirated bha. Partigramodbhavaya Namaha. So I think this is one compound consonant. Ir is the hook at the top, and ti, irti, ig, ra, gra, id, bha. So there are three consonants, and this bha is the aspirated bha. So Partigramodbhavaya Namaha. So the simple name is Partigramodbhavaha. Partigramodbhavaha is the name, simple name as is. Okay, so we will look at them. Parti is Puttaparthi. Grama is the village. Grama means village. Udbhavaha. Udbhavaha. So as you can see, here is another sandhi. This ma plus a ma and u. Okay, the a and u, this a here and u here becomes va. Okay, sorry, o. Okay, plus a plus u becomes o. U plus a becomes va. A plus u becomes o. Okay, a u o. Grama udbhavaha. Okay, so one who manifested. Manifest means to become apparent, become visible to us. Okay, udbhavaha. Bhava means to be. Udbhava means one who becomes or manifests. Okay. Prostrations to the one who manifested in the village of Parthi. So who suddenly appeared. So that's the word we have used. So I don't think there's anything more for me to say. If everyone is okay with it, we will go to the next. Yeah. So Parthi Grama Udbhavaha. Sri Sat Om Shri Sai Parthi Gramodbhavaya Namaha. Just pay attention to the bha. Okay. Because some of these which I'm highlighting are for the audience who are predominantly Tamils, I guess, there are a few North Indians, I think they don't have any problem. But for us, it's a bit unnatural, and because it's not present in our language, that distinction. So paying attention to helps. So the next one is Om Shri Sai Parthi Kshetra Nivasine Namaha. So there are a few compound consonants. Irti, Parthi, Ksh, Uk, and Sha. Again, the Sha is the cerebral Sha, so the tongue is pointing upwards at the roof of the mouth. Ksh, Uk, and Sha. Parthi, Kshe, again Itra. The Ta and Ra are present here. Itra, Nivasine Namaha. Okay, just pay attention to those. So again here the simple name is Partikshetra Nivasi. Again Nivasin is the Mula Padam or root word. Nivasi is the plain and simple noun. Okay, the first form of the derivation from that root word. Vasin. Vasin becomes Vasi. Okay. Partikshetra Nivasi. Parthi, I think all of us know. Puttaparthi, we have just looked at it. Kshetra. The word kshetra is used in many ways. Kshetra also generally for any pilgrim spot, any place which is worthy of making a pilgrimage to is called kshetra. But so I've used the word sacred region, holy city, and so on. It also has the meaning of field, even in a field which is plowed. Kshetra. So our body is also called a kshetra. That's why it's called a temple. We should make it a kshetra. By itself, it will not be a kshetra, but we can make it a kshetra. So Parthi Kshetra Nivasi. Okay, so Kshetra is the holy city of pilgrimage spot. Nivasi is one who resides. Vasi is also residing. Nivasi means one who is firmly establishes himself. It's Nivasa. I think it has become a pilgrimage place. Swami has made Parthi a pilgrim spot. Thousands and millions flock there to gain from the kshetra, and for eternity it has been changed into a kshetra. By him being present there, he is ever established in that spot. So one who is so resident there, we are praying to Parthi Kshetra Nivasi. Prostration to the one who. Sorry, I have a lot of. I think I will resave the deck. I'm sorry about it. Prostration to the one who resides in the holy city of Parthi. You can say, how can I make it a city? Kshetra is, it can be sacred village also, but Parthi Puri is the way we use it normally. Puri means it's a city. It has become a city of sort. So I've used the word city. I hope everyone is okay with that. Om Shri Sai Yashah Kaya Shirdi Vasine Namaha. Yashah Sarga Yashah Kaya Irdi. Okay, Ir is hook and D. Vasine Namaha. So the simple name is Yashah Kaya Shirdi Vasi. Okay. Yashah means generally translated as fame. It also means venerated, someone to whom we pray. Okay, Yasha. Kaya is body. Shirdi, the place Shirdi. Vasi, resident. So the mantra, the name addresses Swami, who you are present in the Shirdi. We just talked about Partikshita Nivasine. In Shirdi, you are present in your Yashakaya, in your venerated form, of a venerated body. In Tamil, there's a word Puhal Udambu. There is one who has left the body is called one who is in his body of fame, name and fame. So it's the same thing. In Tamil, whoever understands Tamil will understand. Puhal Udambu is Yashakaya. Shirdivasan. So you are present even in Shirdi in your glory, in your, in your subtle, in your original form, I would say. But people know you because of the name of the name Shirdi. People who have not seen or heard now pray to Shirdi Sai and believe that he is divine. So you are present there also in that form. So that is the prayer here. Okay, so we will go to the next one. Om Shri Sai Jodi Adi Palli Somapaya Namaha. This illi can be changed into illi also, because this is a Telugu word, but I have Sanskritized it using normal Sanskrit for our purposes. Okay, but this whole thing is actually, you can say Telugu name. Jodi Adi Palli Somapaya Namaha. So there are quite a few compound consonants here. Illi and Uppa. Okay, and those are the two. Om Shri Sai Jodi Adi Palli Somapaya Namaha. There are no aspirated consonants here, so it should be pretty simple for everyone. So Jodi is couple. Adi is primeval, Adi, the original. Palli is village. Somappa. Okay. Somappa is broken into three words. Sa Uma Appa. Okay. Sa means, one meaning is with. Uma is Shakti, Parvati. Appa means father. Okay. So Somappa means the father with Uma. Okay. Because Shiva and Shakti are together. Amme, Appa, Tamil, they say, the mother and father together. Parvati, Parameshwara. They are together in one form. One who is Shiva, Shakti, Swarupa. That's what I have used. Okay. Somappa. So prostration to the Shiva, Shakti, Swarupa, the couple of the primeval village. Okay. That's the meaning. I think many of you may know the story. I think even if you know the story, there's no harm in repeating how this name came about. So it was November 1958. Swami's birthday celebrations took place in Puttaparthi, Prashanthi Nilayam. And the date is 26th of November 1958. A family, parents, and their daughter, who was 2 years old, were leaving Prashantanilayam and going back to Bangalore, which is their home city. And along the way, this family had a problem because their daughter, who was just 2 years old, had fits. And she stopped breathing and collapsed. And they were grief stricken. They didn't know what to do, and they screamed and cried and prayed. They were just returning from Prashantanilayam. And when this was going on, this commotion was, they stopped the vehicle and there was a big commotion and they didn't know what to do. It was late in the night or evening. And suddenly someone, an old person, appeared with a couple of people. And he came and asked for the child to be given, asked what's the problem, took the child and revived the child. The child became normal, as if nothing happened. And so these parents were so ecstatic. They were so happy with this old person who came. And they asked, and they apparently gave some fruits which they came from Prashantanilayam and gave it to this person. And that was what they had, with a lot of gratitude. And then they asked this person, "Who are you? What is your name?" And this old person told them, "I am Jodi Adipalli Somappa." That was the name this old person gave this family. And so that was the name. Later on, Swami revealed that he was the one who came to this family. This person is Venkatraman Natarajan, and the child who was 2 years old is Sudha Raghunathan, who is a well-known Carnatic musician today. So this incident took place on the 26th of November, 1958. We are just nearing Swami's birthday, so you can say how many years, almost 63, 64 years ago, this happened. And Swami gave himself the name. So that is how this name in the Ashtotram has come about. So Jodi Adipalli Somappaya Namaha. Okay. Prostration to the Shiva Shakti Swarupa, the couple of the Primavel village. So Adipalli, the word Palli means village in Telugu. Adipalli is original village. Okay. He alone knows which is original. So he is the so auntie is also recollecting that it is Sudha Raghunathan. The parents are Venkatraman Natarajan, and wife's name I'm not getting. Okay, Saira. So that is his famous name. If we chant it regularly, so we should know the meaning also. Saira. So the next one is Om Shri Sai Bharat Vaja Rishi Gotraya Namaha. Bharadvaja, your idva. Okay, this is a compound consonant. Idvaja, r, she. This r is actually a vowel. She is again cerebral sh. Okay, Rishi Gotraya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Bharadvaja Rishi Gotraya Namaha. So the simple name is Bharadvaja Rishi Gotra. Watch the bha, which is the aspirated. Bha in the pa varga, the fourth letter. Bharadvaja Rishi Gotraha. Okay. So Bharadvaja is the name of a rishi, great rishi called Rishi from ancient times. Bharadvaja. Rishi is the sage. Gotraha, I have used the word lineage, meaning lineage here. So the prostrations to the one from the Gotra of sage Bharadvaja. I will just speak about Gotra because Gotra is used in Sanatana Dharma a lot, and there are many meanings given. So we'll just spend a little bit of time looking at the word Gotra. Generally, it is meant, it is the lineage of a rishi. Many Brahmins or people who do their Upanayanam, okay, or Yagnopavitam, or Janeyo as people call it. Where the sacred thread take the Gayatri Upadesham, from that point onwards, whenever they do their prayers, they will, or whenever they introduce themselves, they will mention which Gotra they belong to. That's the way they introduce. So general belief is there is a genetic connection, is one thing which many people say. There can be some fact to it, but one rishi cannot have so many progenies of all varnas. Also, all varna means different varna. Means varna is color. Basically, English translation is caste, but that's not accurate. Varna means a classification of human beings into various groups based on their swabhava or their nature and vocation or occupation, what they are busy with in their life. So generally, varnas are that, but gotra is the lineage. So you trace yourself to a rishi. Gotra, go means cows. Tra means where they are protected. Okay. So a cow shed is also called gotra. So there are people who will say gotra means a cow shed. Why a cow shed is a question people can ask. That means in a rishi in those days, Bharadwaja had his ashram. Many students will come, okay, and their main sustenance relied on milk and dairy products. So the cow was considered the mother who nourished all of them there. So they are all belonging, their mother is from that cow shed. Okay, that's why they are called from that cow shed. You're from that home. The cow shed itself becomes the center part of the ashram. So you belong to that cow shed belonging to Bharadwaja. Means anyone who were nurtured physically by that cow shed. But this word go has multiple meanings. Go also means sound. Go also means Vedas. Go also means Swargam. There are many meanings for this word go. It also means earth. And there are a couple of discourses of Swami where Swami has gone into detail about go on the topic of Govinda. Okay, what is this go? So you can say anyone who has learned the Vedas from the Bharadwaja Rishi can be called belonging to that Gotra. So you can say that school of Vedic studies is also Gotra. The mantras and the knowledge which came from Bharadwaja is also Go. So anyone who protects or is protected by the knowledge which came from Rishi Bharadwaja belong to the Bharadwaja Gotra. So why do we have to remind ourselves? Is every Brahmana reminds themselves, I belong to the Bharadwaja, because to remind that I belong to this lineage of Guru Parampara, where the knowledge has been transmitted, and I have to protect this knowledge, and I should be protected by this knowledge. Reminding oneself any number of times helps in this process. That's why Gotra is a very, very important concept. Even if you go to a temple, the Pujari will ask, what's your Gotram? And we will say, we don't have a Gotram, and they will say, you are Shiva Gotram or Vishnu Gotram. Means everyone belongs to God. So if you don't have a Rishi, go to Shiva as the Guru and take him as the Guru and take what he has taught as the guiding light for you, so that will protect you and you protect that dharma. So Swami gave the word. So Swami revealed that he had given the boon to Bharadwaja that I will be born in your lineage and re-establish what you taught to this world. So Swami has come in that lineage to protect the knowledge and the Vedas and the mantras and the forms of worship which has come from Rishi Bharadwaja, to establish that, re-establish that, to re-energize that. He is taken form in that lineage. So that is why this name, Bharadwaja Rishi Gotraya Namaha. So whenever we chant this, we should think that we also belong to that Gotra of Swami. Or you can say Sai Gotram also, or Bharadwaja Gotram, because that's what Swami has taught. He has re-established, re-energized. And that's what this means. It's just not that he was born a lineage. He's come to protect it and also to propagate it. And so that is what this name means, to me at least. So I will stop here. I had 12 names listed today to cover. I don't want to overstuff this class with more names. So I covered 12 names today. So if everyone is okay, I will stop here for any questions you may have. Yes, Brother Vimalesa.
Sairam, no, you explained it already, but I as kind of reconfirming, I just asking about the Swarupa. So Swami has explained Swadharma as Atma Dharma.
Yes.
So Swarupa is Atma, Atma-rupa, or the form of Atma. So,
yes.
So that means formless. Atma is formless, so
Exactly.
Swarupa is, oh,
yes.
Okay.
Yes, brother.
Thank you.
So I think that's all. Maybe I will just go over, I will just go over all the names which we covered, just read them once, and then we will close for today, I guess. There are no other questions. We'll just cover from the start, no harm in repeating Swami's name. With birthday coming up, it can be our prayer today. So 9 plus 12, actually we have 21 names. And so 21 names of Swami we will cover today. Om Bhagavan Shri Sathya Sai Babaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sathya Swarupaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sathya Dharma Parayanaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Varadaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sat Purushaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Satya Gunatmane Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sadhu Vardhanaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sadhu Jana Poshanaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarvajnaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarvajana Priyaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarva Shakti Murtaye Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarveshaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarva Sangha Parityagine Namaha. Om Shri Sai Sarvantaryamine Namaha. Om Shri Sai Mahimatmane Namaha. Om Shri Sai Maheshwara Swarupaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Partigramodbhavaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Partikshetra Nivasine Namaha. Om Shri Sai Yashakaya Shirdi Vasine Namaha. Om Shri Sai Jodi Adipalli Somappaya Namaha. Om Shri Sai Bharadwaja Rishi Gotraya Namaha. So that's all the 21 names which we have seen so far. So with this, I think we will close for today, and we will continue next week, next Saturday. Sai Ram to all of you.